Dude, we've had a lot of fun the last week. This is the dream. I know it's like crazy and it seems like a lot of hard work, which it is. No denying that. But it's all the work that we love doing.
It is. It's the second big trip of the year.
Yeah.
12 o'clock on Sunday, I get the call. I'm halfway to the Badlands. I'm building a track. And I was summoned. And the next thing I know, I'm operating a skid steer and a dozer for the first time.
Yeah, I was kind of in a rush here at Badlands. If you can't tell, we're still here at Badlands. And we got here Sunday night. Monday morning we wake up and I said, Ryan, I don't have any help down on the track. And he has never run a skid steer, very light skid steer work in the previous. So I think you had run a skid steer maybe
just a little bit,
just slightly beforehand, but never any big machinery really.
Never a dozer.
We threw you in the excavator at Jake's and you did some tossing there and just for some fun. I've got that video. But you killed it, dude. I threw you in the sticks on a skid steer and said, figure it out. Like, here's what they do. Just go run it, and start moving some stuff. Dude, you picked up on it like it was nothing.
That left stick is just like a Mavic left stick,
Yeah, just like the drone.
Yep. The right stick I had to learn a little bit, but after a couple reps, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, locked in there.
All right, so now that we're sitting here and we're talking about that, I want to sincerely thank you from the bottom of my heart because I wouldn't have been able to finish that without you.
You did a great job. Great teacher.
We had help from a couple other guys from here at Badlands. And as a team, we did great. Everyone worked together and we got it done. And it looked really, really good until it rained, which is unfortunate. All that hard work we put into that track down there, and then it just opened up and there was a river ripping it apart.
Yeah.
And I was
waterfall, river.
Very sad to see that go.
Yeah, you'd be standing about mid shin thigh or mid shin high out there last night after the rain kicked on. I mean, the lightning strike was a couple feet away, if that.
Right next to us.
Yeah.
It was crazy. But
a couple 100 yards.
Yeah. I know you've been on the pod before early on. It's been a while. I think we weren't even videoing at the time when you've been on, right? Have you been on a video
I think our first pod was actually during the Grinch shoot when Cody was up.
That's right. So still no video.
Yep.
There was no video on that pod. It was just audio at that point. So welcome, dude. This is the new setup. I know you've seen it a few times since then, but it's an absolute pleasure to have you on and actually be like officially on video with the video podcast. So it's really cool.
Glad to be here.
And if for anybody that doesn't know, Ryan is the reason that I am so lucky to be able to travel with WWE and 0 Point Aerial. Shout out Todd. To all these cool events and watch these guys do what they do best and fly those drones. And you guys are absolute magicians on the sticks. And by on the sticks, I mean they fly the drones and they fly it. This guy flies through fire, up and down skyscrapers, through race cars. I about owned his drone this past weekend when he was flying in front of the long jump, and I about went through it with a race car. So it's you continue to amaze me, and thank you for the opportunities that you've brought me as far as like with the WWE stuff and Todd at 0 Point Aerial. It's just been an absolute whirlwind and a wild ride, and very, very humbling and cool to see what you guys do and how professional you guys are. That's, I think, one of the biggest takeaways I have is you guys follow the rules. You guys are under strict guidelines, especially some of the places we were flying. I mean, you had to get approval from like high level, like
the Pentagon.
Yeah, like serious
Army,
things.
Marines, that's for King of the Hammers, of course,
right.
When we were on the lake bed. And I think, we're in the industry early. Drones are relatively new to, live TV broadcasts in the spectrum of time. And, we've had opportunities working with these big companies. We just went out and flew PBR. That might be something that is a little bit more consistent here in the future. But, between doing the WWE, the PBR, I love the outdoor, motorsports scene, whether that's motocross or side-by-sides or drift pad.
Right.
I think this is the first time that I've really been able to film legitimate concrete drifting where guys are able to put it on one tire and I can, get out in front of the grill and freestyle a little bit. But I wanted to go back to the track build a little bit. It's just amazing what you can do with when we first got here. There was 2 huge rock gardens. The berms were from last year were completely overgrown. The pad brand new in the center, but everything on the outskirt dirt part really needed a lot of work. Everything was overgrown. And just the amount of work we were able to put in the first 2 to 3 days and completely change that landscape, and how dirt is really so malleable, putting down like a fresh batch. I know that there was some more wet dirt on the backside, and when we built up the sidewall to the concrete pad, I'm just thinking to myself, I never would have really realized how much you can do with dirt until you get in one of these machines and actually move it around. So just a really cool opportunity to be able to do that. Thank you for taking me through all the safety training and precautions before actually getting in one of these machines, because I know that there's a lot of potential that can happen if you're not operating safely. And then, just being able to see you operate so smoothly and efficiently. I mean, just the way that you move dirt around, it's really impressive what you're able to do in these machines. And it's really entertaining. So that's why I think part of my niche right now, we got a ton of footage from King of the Hammers when we were there that hasn't been released. I think that'll be something that we finally put out probably later in the season as we move back into the 21st King of the Hammers. But to be able to do some a little bit shorter form videos of just like these track builds that you're participating in and facilitating. And then we get to tear it up after.
Right. That's one of the biggest perks. First off, thank you for the compliments. It's a very long time. That's what I tell everybody when you get in either a machine or a race car or a dirt bike and want to do what I do. And I want you to. I want to help you get to that point. I'm not cagey at all. I want everyone to have a good time. I want everyone to learn everything. I love it. I love being able to share what I know and my skills with other people. I truly, truly enjoy that. So to see you get out there in the skid steer and figure it out on your own and be able to be productive with it. Like you were really putting in good moves. Like you were making the right calls, even when it wasn't me making the call. You're making it on your own. I know one time you had a little nervous go when he had some telephone poles up on the forks, and he was trying to drive up a little kicker ramp that I had made into a corner. And anyone who's operated a skid steer or a dozer knows this feeling. But when you go up and the bucket is up and you go up an incline, the machine will tilt back.
Yeah.
And so those
the poles
machines
went like this, and that's why I was like, oh boy.
Yeah. And the higher your bucket is, the faster it goes. So you got a little bit of a pucker factor there.
Oh.
And he came to me and he's like, dude, I almost rolled it. I almost died. I thought I was going out. And I told him, I said, I know that feeling, but you probably weren't actually going to roll it. I know it feels that way because that machine just starts to tilt back. And I will say, wait till you do that in a dozer.
I did that in a dozer, not on a hill, but just even backing over a boulder that's about this high. I mean, I went for a ride.
Oh, it will shake your teeth loose. It's brutal. Anytime there's a rock underneath a dozer track, you don't get just one hit because there's rollers. So you have the 2 big cogwheels on the outside of a dozer, and then underneath you have a bunch of rollers that track rides on. And in between that, you imagine there's a space in between each roller. So when you drive over a rock, you get every single one of those rollers, and dude, it will beat the crap out of you. So it's just learning. I mean, I've done it 100 times, probably more, ran over a rock, especially if you're moving quickly and you're like in a hurry. And now I even do it if I'm, in a rush and I'm just hurrying back. And sometimes I don't even look back. I know if there's nobody around me and I know my situational awareness is good, I just back up, and you accidentally back over a boulder, dude.
Yeah. You better hold on.
It'll toss you out of the seat if you're not careful.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the hillsides on a dozer can be sketchy. All right, everybody. I want to give a quick shout out to CT Raceworks. CT Raceworks makes the baddest parts in the industry, including the parts that Kyle Chaney uses to win the 2025 King of the Hammers 4400 race. Now, if you would like to use those same parts, feel free to go over to CT Raceworks and use the Our Day Off discount code, and that will get you a 5% discount on your entire order at any time. So that's Our Day Off discount code upon checkout. Back to the show.
Oh, and we saw that. So Matt went into the Serpentine with the dozer just to give it a last groom. And if you haven't been here recently, which I first came here probably 20 years ago, the Serpentine was decent sized, but now with over the years they've been carving it out and carving it out. The walls have to be 25, 30 feet tall.
Yeah.
And it's intimidating, and I can only imagine what that's like going through with a machine that size, where you can you could rip the tracks right off of it or bury that machine in there. And we have this, this big event coming up within the next like 48 hours or less. You'd have to get a crane out there to pull that out.
That was my biggest concern when I was down there in the Serpentine cleaning out the bottoms is whatever you do not turn a track off of this thing, because that would be an absolute mess. We would have to crane it out. We would have to find either excavator something in there to pick it up and get it out of there to even fix the track. And we needed the Serpentine to be open so we could have the event. So it was a very nerve-wracking moment. And I called you and said, if you want to get this shot, you better get out here, dude, because I'm in this thing right now. And by the time you made it out, it was it was too late. It was my fault. I should have said something before I drove in, but I was just in, get it done mode. But it's scary. It's scary getting in there, and it wouldn't have been nothing like bad happen really. It would have just been a panic. We would have been screwed. Like, how do you get it out of here? We have to get it out at minimum, get it out so that we can have the event. And I don't know how we would have got it out. I really don't. I have no idea.
I'm sure we could have called the guy, but I'm sure it's not a cheap process to get something like that out. And I'm sure there's a lot of finesse.
Yeah, there is. But anyway, I'm very proud of you. I'm very thankful for you in multiple ways, but in this particular conversation, I'm very thankful for you helping me out with this. It was an absolute pleasure to be able out there and see you kind of progress into the machine and get good at it.
I'm proud of myself. I'm thankful for the opportunity. I really appreciate you inviting me out and putting the trust in me, and lifting up some of these shipping containers too. I mean, that's a whole process in itself.
It's like kind of threw you under I put your feet to the fire there.
You did.
With the shipping container thing. You might have even been standing next to me when John came down and he was like, hey, it's going to take 3 of us. Do you want me to get another guy? And I said, no, don't worry about it.
I thought you were going to call in Cody because he's got some experience.
And Cody has ran him before, but Cody hasn't been in a machine for 2 days. You had been, and you'd been running it. And he said, want me to call another guy? I got another guy. I said, nah, I got another guy. And he didn't know it at the time, but the other guy was him.
I'm getting my Mavic out, trying to get the shot.
He's ready to get his drone out, and he pulls the 3rd skid steer up and parks it on the thing. He goes, all right, who's your guy? And I said, Ryan, hop in. He was like, what? I said, you got this, dude. You've been running it all day. We just got to take this thing nice and straight up. We lifted a 40-foot high cube shipping container, which weighs about 8,500 pounds total, and it took us 3 skid steers, 2 on one side, 1 on the other, to lift up simultaneously on the top of 2 20-foot containers and stack them, creating a bridge. I knew it would do it weight-wise. I wasn't worried about the weight of it. I was worried about our synchronization on the way up, because and we did have some tilting, but that's to be expected in my eyes. Nothing was crazy. It went fine, and we lifted it straight up, you, me, and John, and we drove it back and set it on top, and problem solved, and it worked great.
I think that structure is so exciting,
especially
if they end up doing some other structures down there as well. I know I don't want to spoil too much, but having potentially seating or being able to be more interactive with the track and be above these cars that are whipping around. And also from the drone flying perspective, some power loops or some Matties or, some reveals, the banner hanging. I think that Kyle is investing in the right opportunities, and I'm really excited to see where the drift pad goes in the next, 6 months even.
Yeah, it's progressing quickly. I'm excited as well. My brain's just been turning nonstop with ideas of what to do down there, and we talked about it on the last podcast. Me and Kyle did, so you're not really spoiling much. But that whole area, the idea with those containers is, and it was my idea, is to. That's like VIP seating, basically VIP area. So where those containers are, once we figure out exactly where we want them, we're not 100% sure we want to leave them right there. But once we actually figure out exactly where they're going to live, for the foreseeable future, we're going to create a viewing area that is actually on the drift pad. So you can purchase those tickets, and you can literally be out on the pad while 1,000 horsepower drift cars or side-by-sides or whatever's out there is drifting around you and underneath you, and it's gonna just be a show, dude. I'm excited. I'm very
Get some
excited.
speakers down there.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
It's going to be a great time.
Exactly. There's going to be all sorts of new stuff going on here at Badlands. I can't wait.
Maybe a couple new builds.
Yeah, it
To
sounds
drift
like
around, I might have to get involved.
it sounds like there's some things going to be getting built around here.
Oh, yeah.
So, including specialty cars for the drifting area, special things down on the drift pad. He's talking about like concrete jumps built into the drift pad. Yeah, so wild. I mean, out of the box. I'm very excited for it, and I'm very excited to have this opportunity to be able to bring my friends to stuff like this and also kind of merge everybody together. You know, you're a drone pilot. That's what you specialize in. Particularly FPV is your wheelhouse. Like that's where you live. That's where you have the biggest smile on your face.
I got the 5-inch out last night, and
dude.
I got 2 laps in. I think I got 1 race in, and then obviously the torrential downpour. But hopefully today I got a couple packs. We'll head out there. If it's not the pad, let's go rip it up near the quarry or something like that. But I definitely want to burn down a couple more packs before we go. It's my second bash, and I want to say that this has got to be one of the best events that I've been to both years. I mean, it's just the people that show up, the activities that are being held here. You see all these really cool, custom builds that these guys are bringing out within the side-by-sides or the quads, or a couple bikes out there I did see this year. But what a week, honestly. It's been amazing.
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. This place has a special feel to it. That's what this place brings. You have so many different things you can do here, and we've talked about it before on the last pod, but you've got the biggest draw for Badlands, the most unique thing that people want is the serpentine, and you touched on it. It is an insane obstacle. It's high speed, it's high adrenaline, and it's unique to this spot. No one else has one. It's not, there's nothing else like it in the country that I know of. If there is, show us, tag us, comment, all that stuff. But there's dunes, there's the drift track, there's the long jump, there's mud, there's creek crossings, there's a rock quarry. This place has so much to offer, not even mentioning 30 plus rental cabins and houses. 200,
you can rent a machine here.
You can rent a machine here. You got full hookup campsites. You got primitive camping. The town is great. You've got all the food. You got Boudreaux's, and you've got Crossroads Restaurant, which is both are fantastic. We've been regulars at Crossroads this week. We just had lunch there. So the entire town of Attica, Indiana is amazing. The Badlands Off-Road Park is top notch. You can get anything you want here.
You forget your helmet after a long drive, and they got those here too.
Come in here to the pro shop and ask and take a look around. They're going to have what you need. They've got professional fabricators here, full-time shop in the back. If you blow a tire, they've got tire machines. They have free air outside. So if you're out here and you want to air down to go out on the trails, you can air down, go out on the trails, have a fun day. You could pull right back up here, fill your tires back up, and go drive on the street safely. So they have thought of it all here, and it's getting more, and it's continually progressing every day. And I don't foresee me not spending a lot of time here. So
we're definitely coming down.
Yeah, I'm excited for all the cool stuff that's going on here. And so just to tilt it back to you a little bit, because this isn't all about Badlands necessarily, this is about Rysky Films. Why don't you, because I don't think we did on the last podcast either, why don't you tell us a little bit about Ryan? Where'd you come from? Where'd you grow up? What's the background, dude? How'd you get into drone flying? I mean, that's a very niche market. And how did you, because I know you knew, right? You know everything, because you knew that drones were going to be the next big thing. And you just were like, I'm going to do that. I'm joking. I'm just messing with you. But
I saw some videos, some early videos, Mr. Steele, some of these professional pilots, throwing down some of the craziest packs you could imagine, drift cars specifically got me into wanting to do this originally. But I guess to address your point, I'm from Syracuse, New York originally. I moved out here about 4 years ago. And at that point, I was going through a career change. I used to run a warehouse for Dick's Sporting Goods in Binghamton, New York. And I said, what do I want to do with my life? I had a little bit of money saved up, and I doubled down and I invested in a couple drone packages. I think my success has come from just having a good attitude and showing up. And, there's been so much to learn in this industry. But, as you're going into these diverse situations, you figure out how to handle things. And I think there's just a great opportunity with where the technology is specifically right now in the broadcast world. It was really challenging for the first 2.5, 3 years for me. Starting a business, they say that, I want to say it's north of 70% of businesses fail in the first 5 years of starting them. So to get some sort of traction and then meeting the right people, like I said, like you said, I am subcontracted with 0 Point Aerial, and I'm traveling every single week. I took about 250 flights last year for WWE alone. But seeing how a big TV broadcast works, what an incredible opportunity. I had no idea the level of involvement it takes to put on a production of that caliber. A Netflix Live every Monday night. These guys travel in on a Sunday. Monday morning, they're in there early. They're putting up all the trusses. They're building the rings. They're, coordinating with the talent that they have there. They come to us. We go shoot scenics, or if there's specific, like more aggressive shots, we'll do, some sort of rehearsal just to make sure that we can fly the lines and it looks good. And then we go out and perform. That night, we tear down everything, when it comes to like what we do and the set and everything. We were just in Madison Square Garden. They had a hockey game. Then they had a WWE show, and then they had an NBA, all in less than 72 hours. So, just the agility of their team is incredible, traveling all over the country. But it's been a great opportunity. I definitely like to get more involved in the motorsports side, and what a better place to do that than having this essentially in our backyard. Like I said, I came down here as a kid, and the first time that I came here, there was a tiny little guard shack right outside. And now seeing, this facility here and the service department on the other side, and seeing what he's done with the rental units, just a lot of excitement. And I also have some ideas on maybe some custom builds that I could run here to like level up a little bit. I want to get into like conformal coating. I know that they have a little bit of water down there, especially with Ultra 4 racing and things like that. Yesterday I was not going to fly in the rain just because my rigs are not currently waterproofed, but that's something that I've identified for myself to kind of get me to the next level with this type of environment. I'd love to get into a side-by-side, maybe a full cab at some point, just to have somewhere to operate from, and obviously be able to get me out into the rough of it so I can get those shots. But I'm really excited. I think that this trip has been very eye-opening for the both of us.
Yeah.
And the people here are great. John and Trevor helped us out all week building the track. It's been quite the experience. So I'm just very excited to see what the next chapter is here.
Yeah, it seems like every time we speak about something, you said it to me when we were when we were here, and you're like, "Oh, it seems like just the last week or the week before we were on a trip together, and we were talking about like our, having your own event, or putting something on, putting on this drift event." And then Kyle
You get the
Badlands
call.
gives the call and says, "Hey, you should stop down and see what I've been up to." And we come down here, and he's got an entire drift pad put together, and he literally looks at me and says, "What do you want to do?" I'm like, "Me? I don't know. What do you mean? What do you want to do?" And it just seems like all these things that we've been working towards, and all these vibes that we've got, and all the things we talk about, and where we want to go, like what we want to do. We want to bring excitement and cool stuff to people. I feel like that's literally our ultimate goal, is we want to have fun with our friends and do really cool stuff and show the world what we're capable of. You, particularly on your drone flying, me, particularly on the off-road racing and off-road extreme, we'll just say, side of it. I'm just a nut as far as off-road and motorsports goes. And some on-road, here or there. It's kind of going that direction a little bit with the drifting stuff. So I think they kind of coincide a little bit with the extreme part, though. I know it's on-road
Absolutely.
versus off-road, but they kind of coincide with that extreme, the speed, the pressure that comes with it. So I think it all works kind of hand in hand, but we kind of all complement each other to a perfect point. You and Chase are really good drone pilots. Not so much Chase. He kind of likes to disarm and crash stuff, but He's shaking his head right
Too
now.
soon, too soon.
Never too soon. That's the other thing is with me, and I think Kyle said it earlier. I'm always busting everybody's balls, and I'm not going to stop now. So we're just going to keep that ball rolling.
Oh yeah.
But I think we all work so good together, and I think that's why this works. We have all the facets of what it takes to make really cool stuff and film it and bring it to the next level for the people who maybe aren't able to do this stuff, but we can bring it to you. Let's bring it right to the forefront so everybody can watch, everybody can see, all the crazy stuff that we do that we're kind of used to. It gets kind of normalized when I see a side by side or a race car or whatever it may be, and I'm like, yeah, and I can drive it, whatever you want to do. Like, it looks cool. And people are like, oh, I would love to see that one day. I see it all the time. It just comes so normal. And I have to remind myself that what I'm doing, people would kill to do, would absolutely do anything in their power to do. And the reason that I can do this is because I've dedicated my life to this exact thing. I have always been extreme. I've always pushed the limit. I've always been, what's the next progression of this sport, whatever that sport is that I'm into at the time,
Yeah.
And it's not always good. It's not financially smart by any means, because I spend a lot of money that I shouldn't be spending to do this, but it has brought me the most joy in the past couple years to just kind of say, screw it, and just go for it. We at the end of the day, none of us make it out of this life alive, and I am dead set on not having a single day where I'm just like, yeah, I'm good.
You're a professional fun haver.
I can do it.
Really?
Probably, yeah.
I mean, it's dangerous, but
yeah, it comes with all sorts of risk. On all sorts of facets: financial risk, bodily risk, mental risk, and that out of all of them, the one that does scare me the most is the physical and mental part of it, because I've got some neck issues that kind of hinder me a little bit on certain things that I do keep in mind, and I don't say too much to people about it because it's like, what's it going to do? It's not going to stop me necessarily, but it does concern me. It could be one last time and all this is over. So that's what scares me the most, is the potential to be incapacitated to the point where I can't do what I love anymore.
Well, I realized that at some point you just can't,
Right.
know? So
yeah, it's coming.
I'm 33 years old, and I think getting involved right now is a perfect pivoting point for my life, because I can still do it and I can still learn. I definitely have aspirations of like getting a little bit more familiar with this type of technology, because there is a lot to learn, when it comes to being able to like service these and, not only have the fun, but be able to do that on the longevity side.
Yeah, do it repetitively.
Yes. Yeah. So I think it aligns with what I'm doing, and I'm very happy. I think that Kyle has given us an incredible opportunity. I'm so thankful that I got the invite to come out here this week and just do what we do. I mean, we're full sending all week, whether that's on the build because of the time constraints or things like that. And then when we get to go have the fun and put on the show, the adrenaline's there. I love it. It's in the veins, and I can't get away from it now. It's addicting.
It's so fun because we get to have fun together. I'll go the shot that I spoke about earlier where I about hit his drone. I came off the lip of the jump on the long jump, and I was looking straight at his Mavic 4. And I was like, if he doesn't pull up, I'm hitting him. And he was full sticks in reverse and up. And thankfully, we just missed each other. I landed, I spun around, I came down, did a little talk, and I hopped out, and I went straight to him. And I said, dude, and he is just that smile right there. Zoom in on that shit, because that's exactly, and both of us, we're like, I got to do the thing that I love the most. He got to do the thing that he loves the most. And they came together, and we got to just meet at the trailer and just be like, bro, what just happened? To be able to mesh both of our passions together almost on a daily basis has just been an absolute dream come true. And I couldn't ask for anything more. For real. The fact that we met each other at a dirt bike race randomly and just kind of for lack of a better term, kind of hit it off, as far as like, we have similar interests in the motorsports world, and the fact that we can kind of put them together and make really cool things. And the fact that we met randomly like that I think it was on purpose a little bit though. Like grand divine. I don't know. What do you call it?
It was
fate?
Perfection. Yeah. Fate,
Something.
but yeah, just one generator.
Yeah,
brought
right.
us together.
Yeah, I still got that.
I needed
generator.
a trackside to do the shoot. I was out of packs, and I was like, hey, I can't find any more unless I could get charged up. And Matt lent me it. And I think one of my, I wouldn't say it's like ultra viral or anything, but one of my first clips that actually popped off was you on the 140.
Yep, on the 140.
And I took the roost in the corner, but that's what you got to do to get the shot. And a little bit of an edit, with a couple of the shots, and I smelling the race fuel and the entire community. I think that's the thing about off-road sports in general. The community is tight knit. The people are good in this industry, and I think that's one of the main driving factors of why I love coming out here so much. I met so many great people through this.
Yeah, I agree. The reason I keep doing it is because of the awesome people that are involved in this. And by this, I mean the sport of off-road, all the extreme sports. Everybody's just so great. Everybody's out to help everybody. Very rarely do you find someone who's not willing to help or lend a part or, lend a generator. Everybody's there. Everybody's there doing it at the same time. And if we can help in any way, generally that's exactly what happens. And I think that's the best part about it. So I'm
thankful.
I'm thrilled
so
that
thankful.
you'll be able to bring your skill set here and show it off and do some really cool stuff. And it's unique. I mean, there's not a lot of people doing it. So
definitely takes quite a bit of finesse and practice, but like I said, it's what I want to do. And I'm going to continue doing it as long as I possibly can, I think. So,
gotcha. So what's the next step for Rysky Films?
The next step. Well, I think the conformal coating of a setup. We talked about bringing sprinklers out there and doing like a water day, so I got to be ready for that. I want to do some more aggressive shots here through some of the more diverse terrain. I know on the backside that there's it's not serpentine, but there's a couple whoop sections where you kind of get in and out of the woods. But just filming as much as I can and vlogging. It's a lot of work because we come out and shoot, and then there's the entire battery change and offloading files, and when 7 a.m. every day, and we basically got into bed at 2 a.m. every day, and it's dusk till dawn. But I really appreciate it. Like I said, I think I'm gonna reinvest, double down, a couple more rigs, and I think as time goes, we'll carve it out. But very excited for it.
Yeah, me too, dude. I'm pumped that you were able to hop on here and actually get on a podcast with the video, and what a special place to do it. This is kind of been a long time coming, if you will. I feel like it's been a
special moment for me.
We've put in work here,
Yeah,
we've put in time, we've put in effort, blood, sweat, and tears, if you will, to this whole adventure. And we've been across the country together. We drove to King of the Hammers in an RV when we went to King of the Hammers with really no plan other than to go, and then this guy ends up flying production for King of the Hammers as a drone op. It's all like you've said. 90% of it's just show up.
I love adventure.
Yeah, show up and do it.
You show up to that valley and you look down at the lake bed and all the mountains that are around it. There's nothing like it. And showing up early with no one there,
right,
and then seeing it pour in. I mean,
go from a dry lake bed full of nothing. It looks like the surface of the moon, and then all of a sudden it's a city.
Yeah. Not to mention it was about 15 degrees here and 70 during the daytime there, 50 at night.
Yeah, I can't complain with that.
Loved it. But more trips to come. I think that I have a little bit of time this year to take some of these trips. Would love to go up to the Upper Peninsula, bring you out to the Adirondacks.
Yeah, I want to do that.
And I think it's just a matter of just showing up, playing it out. Even if it's sporadic, give me the call. I'll throw the pellies in for you anytime.
Let's go, baby. I know
Let's
you
get
will.
it.
I know. That's how we roll. But
Happy birthday. Happy
Oh,
belated at this
here
point
we
to
go.
Matt
Yeah.
Zeiler. But he
Thank
did
you.
turn 40 yesterday.
I did.
And just wanted to congratulate
Thank
you
you
on
very
making
much.
it this
Yeah.
far with the daredevil that you are.
Yeah, it really is. It really is quite the feat if you sit back and think about it. If anybody who knows me, 40 was not the plan.
Yeah.
It's
And just as a
amazing to be here.
couple last remarks, wanted to thank Kyle for having us out this week and the incredible opportunity, 0 Point Aerial for supporting everything I'm doing, and you, buddy, for the
Yeah.
invite. Appreciate
Thank you
you.
as well. Thank you as well. And thank you everybody for watching. Please follow Rysky Films on all his social media. It is Rysky Films, right? On all your socials.
RYSKY.
That's right. Follow him. He's got some of the sickest drone shots you can even imagine. And give everybody a shout out. Let us know what you think about these pods, and don't be afraid to reach out if you see us out and about too. We love chatting with you guys and meeting new people and new opportunities. So if you guys have something you're like, oh, it'd be cool to get a drone shot here, reach out and get a hold of Ryan. He's top notch. He's one of the best, if not the best. So
Hopefully to get there at some point. Chase is dying over here.
Chase is over there. All right. Well, on that note, Bob,
Chase, you're good too when you're not disarming.
you both are fantastic drone ops. I am trash. I just like crashing things, and that's how it's going to stay. And
It's healthy competition. I love having Chase around. He's a great pilot.
Yep, you guys are awesome. And thanks for watching, you guys. Thank you, Ryan, for coming on. Thank you for being here. And we'll see you on the next one. See y'all later.